And welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Bros. This is Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black here. Let's go. Let's get it tonight. We have a special guest with us tonight, referee Gregory James. How you doing tonight, man? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, my name is Ref Gregory James. Based in Wisconsin. It's north of Madison. Been reffing going on a little over a year and a half and enjoying it. And thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. So, just kind of kicking it off here tonight. Is refereeing always been something you've desired to do, or did you kind of maybe desire to be a wrestler at some point?
Be quite honest, yeah, I never really wanted to be a wrestler. Always did want to be a ref. My son, who's actually part owner of No Regrets Wrestling here in Wisconsin, he's the one that got me into it. I started reffing for him originally and then kind of branched out from there. When he was a kid, he always wanted to be a wrestler, and he used to ask me if I wanted to wrestle ever. I'm like, no, but it'd be kind of cool to be a referee. And when he got older and started his promotion, he remembered, and kind of all went from there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like a good time, man. Trying to think here. I had the question around my tongue and it just kind of like disappeared. So yeah, I'm actually training out of Chicago myself. Chicago style wrestling, CSW. I train under Steve Boz up there. So that's definitely a good time being a part of the wrestling world. So I understand exactly what you're saying. So is there any like special kind of training or anything like that involved in becoming a referee?
I know a lot of refs have been to training, through ACW and other promotions and schools and whatnot. I'll be honest, I never had any formal training. Just kind of, started, like I said, with No Regrets Wrestling here in Wisconsin. Kind of thought it'd be a 1, maybe 2-shot deal and kind of learn as I go.
Yeah, sounds like it's not too bad of a deal, especially. I mean, sounds like you got in there pretty easily because you're with your son bringing you in. That's definitely a good time. Big Baby, you got a question, man?
Has there been any famous referees or superstars that you've met yet?
Yeah, Earl Hebner, who I pretty much consider the GOAT, of referees. Met him at a Great Lakes show a few months back. Got to pick his brain a little bit, and was pretty much told by the promoter, David Hero, for Great Lakes, definitely sit down, talk to him, kind of gave me an ultimatum, so to speak. He was cool about it. But he goes, if you want, to keep getting jobs, stuff like that, definitely pick his brain. Do what you gotta do. You'll learn immensely from him. And I sat down with him probably for over an hour, before that night even started. And then throughout the night, got little tips and whatnot from him also. I know I've met Swoggle, or used to be, formerly Hornswoggle.
Oh, wow.
He was at a No Regrets show this last year. I was able to meet him. Andrew Everett, who's been on Impact. I had the pleasure of meeting him. And a lot of some of the Midwest top wrestlers like Sierra, Joey Avalon. I've been privileged enough, to be in the ring with them. Marche Rocket, who's another bigger name. So yeah, I mean, life is good right now. I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities. Like I said, started with No Regrets Wrestling, went from there. working for some other promotions, including Frozen Tundra here in Wisconsin also. Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, you know?
It absolutely is. You know, like you say, the sky is definitely the limit when it comes to the wrestling world. The more you push for the opportunities, the more opportunities that are presented for you. They're kind of endless. It just depends on the person and, you know, how far they really want to go. So you talked about, you know, all the ones that you have met. Is there any that you desire to meet or would like to meet as far as referees and wrestlers go?
I don't know, off the top of my head, I mean, I'm sure there is some, you know, once we get done tonight, you know, I'll probably be like, oh man, you know, I should have said them, but you know, it's off the top of my head.
How do we have his DNA then?
You know, I was able to meet Hornswoggle, but I didn't get to work his match. I think that'd be pretty cool. Actually being in the ring with him would be cool. Of course, Matt Cardona, you know, that's, I think, top of a lot of people's list. You know, it'd be awesome. I was able to meet him a few years back in Iowa with Central Empire show. Went as a fan there. Went there, you know, right before I started, you know, as a ref. So being in the ring with those guys, you know, it'd definitely be a dream of mine, without a doubt.
So when you know, do you watch film as a referee? Do you study how to be a referee like wrestlers watch tape?
Yeah, it kind of goes in spurts. Like if I've got a show coming up, like the few days before that, you know, I'll get on YouTube, watch some matches, or you know, of different referees. You know, do what I can, both, you know, older matches, you know, newer matches, you know, whatever I can get my hands on. Definitely do. I pick the brains of other referees while I'm at the shows. You know, even the wrestlers that I'm in the ring with, you know, even after the match, I'm like, okay, is there anything I should have done different? Is there anything I missed? Anything I can improve on? Because you should always be learning. You know, with me, in my opinion, you should learn every night, every match that you're out there. You should learn something.
Absolutely.
So never be satisfied, I guess, you know?
Yeah, no, that's definitely makes complete sense. That was just like I was saying a few minutes ago, you know, opportunities are endless. Give me just 1 second, guys here. I forgot to do one thing real quick.
So did he? Marcel thought he was untouchable. He gave him a message.
It was stupid. That's why I'm supposed to be part of these decisions. Now you've compromised an asset.
Are you serious? Why do you think she's here?
We'll raise red flags because of this cock-up. They have Carlos's DNA.
Have you taken any bumps during any matches?
Yeah, I've taken a couple. My first night ever being a ref, you know, in the ring was, you know, with a no regrets show. You got kind of a chair shot and got my head shaved. You know, my first night out there, you know, kind of got one of those, you know, chairs to the stomach, you know, hunched over, then, you know, across the back. Couple shows back for Frozen Tundra. I got in the ring after another ref took a bump, ended up being in the ring with Joey Avalon and Marche Rocket. Got, you know, caught in the corner by Marche. You know, kind of got thrown in, you know, by Joey, and I got pancaked, you know, in the turnbuckle pretty good. I mean, I'm not exactly a small guy, but Marche's got me beat, you know, especially with the muscle and everything. He's just solid. And he gave me a solid shot. So before I knew it, I was out, you know, on the floor outside the ring.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. Yeah, you know, when you're the referee, you know, you're supposed to be in there calling the match and making the right calls and getting things taken care of. But when you get involved in that match, it's a whole different world for sure. Taking that whooping. So you talked about the promotions that you've been a part of. Is there any like other promotions, you know, outside of Wisconsin or around the United States that you've ever thought about being a part of or would like to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, one of my first, I guess, indie shows I went to before, you know, I became a ref, Central Empire out of Iowa. Definitely love to work with them. I have worked with a couple other guys that have worked, came up here to Wisconsin, worked for No Regrets. But I'd like to go down to Iowa, check it out. Also, I've seen Chicago style, like you mentioned. It'd be kind of cool, to work with them.
Oh yeah.
Introducing
So gets me out a little bit, but still halfway in the area,
100%
Okay.
sauce.
Yeah,
So,
we actually we live out in the Quad Cities. I live in Davenport, and my brother here, he lives over in Geneseo, Illinois. We actually attend shows for a company called HAW, Honor Among Wrestling. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but man, you should definitely check that promotion out sometime because they're a small and up and coming promotion, but they're always looking for new stars, talents, referees, stuff like that to special guests and whatnot.
yeah, I'll definitely check them out. Another one in a couple more in Wisconsin, even that I'd love to work for, is Now That's Wrestling. And then also Hybrid Wrestling, which is run by TW3.
Yep.
I've met him quite often. He comes to a lot of the No Regrets shows. Was able to work with him a few shows, work with Jay De Niro, from OVW. Had the pleasure of working with him, at a Great Lakes show. But yeah, I would definitely love to go to Hybrid, give them a shot one night,
Yeah, definitely.
That's a newer promotion, so.
You say that, so I know your family's really involved with wrestling and whatnot. Is there any other family members besides just you and your son that are actually involved with the wrestling that's in your family or friends and whatnot, or is it just kind of you guys?
Not really. I mean, got in through my son. He trained for, to be a wrestler for a while. Went to the promotional side of it. Like I said, started No Regrets Wrestling. It's pretty much it. Now I have my daughter. She'll be 12. She actually helps out at a couple of shows. Getting ring gear and whatnot. So, but as far as family wise, there's really nobody else. That's involved at all.
Okay. And what's your son's name, if you don't mind me asking?
He goes by Red Lytle.
Red Lytle.
Yep.
You want to spell that for me?
Yeah. Red like the color, and then Lytle.
Red Lytle. Okay.
Yeah.
Global campus. Earn up to 90
We'll take a look and see if we can't locate him. If anything, you can maybe message his actual name over to Big Baby here, and we'd love to maybe pick his brain a little bit at some point for sure. See if he'd like to come on the show and check things out.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll definitely talk to him.
Yeah, for sure, and let us know. I mean, even if we go through you to do it, I mean, if you just want to say, hey, I was on this show, they'd love to give you the spotlight, and be able to talk about yourself a little bit. So,
And then
in the beginning of the show, you brought up Earl Hebner as one of the GOATs or referees. Can you give me one of the moments that made you feel like he was one of the GOAT referees?
Well, of course, just overall, I mean, his experience, everything, for longevity, worked for multiple promotions, and of course, he's involved with the Montreal screw job. He's pretty known for that. In fact, that's one of the subjects him and I talked about that night that I talked to him.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing, everything about him, everything from him, past experiences. Of course, he's got family that involved in wrestling, with his son, was a referee for a while and whatnot. Of course, his brother and whatnot. So, I mean, he's been there, been there, done that. And just hearing just his experiences and everything, definitely somebody to learn from, the do's and the don'ts, so to speak.
Still in custody?
Okay.
And he'll tell you straight up, what's going on. He doesn't sugarcoat nothing whatsoever.
Well, as a referee, we ask this question a lot of wrestlers. Locker room morale prior to a match. Wrestlers are coming in, they're getting themselves ready. They're back in the back, warming up and doing their pre and post match rituals. as a referee, does locker room morale really affect you as far as when it gets time to get in the ring between the wrestlers and whatnot?
Yeah. I mean, there's, several wrestlers that I've had the pleasure of working with and the opportunity to work with on multiple occasions. They'll notice, like, if, you're starting to get nervous or uptight, they are there with you, trying to calm you down, so, whatnot. They're definitely there to support you. Everybody tries to support everybody, to a degree, obviously.
Okay.
I've never been, I guess, in a negative locker room setting yet, which is nice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's a good thing. I mean, when you can go to different promotions and whatnot and not have a negative and have a negative effect on you. Do you have any pre-match or post-match rituals that you do before your matches that kind of get you prepped and ready?
Not really. Usually they're early enough to help set up, try to take down, the ring too. Try to do everything the same, like try to get changed, a certain amount of time before the matches start or before the doors open, and, kind of be a creature of habit, so to speak, I guess.
Okay, yeah, just kind of being ready to go. And yeah, because we do this Wrestling with Bros thing, and we help out a lot with the HAW events. We actually go to pretty much every one of their shows. We help set up the ring, so we've kind of got that down to a science. But we help set up the ring, tear it down, help with taking it back to where it goes and unloading it. And so, yeah, I completely understand, being a creature of habit when it comes to the ring. So, Big Baby.
I was gonna ask what he thought of Mike Dicta.
What was that?
Mike Dicta?
Oh, the Bears coach?
No, the referee.
Oh, it sounded like you said Mike Ditka. I apologize.
You don't think I shoot?
Okay, I think, Ben, do you have the name right, brother?
I might not.
I thought you said something else too. It caught me off guard. It's like, what'd you just say? So when it comes to being a referee, I noticed you participate in a lot of what they would call indie or professional style matches. Have you ever had a desire, or have you ever participated in any like backyard wrestling?
I have not. No.
Okay. Never had a desire to do that.
I mean, as a kid, you're goofing around with your buddies, but as far as anything organized, yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Big Baby, got some more questions there?
Don't. No. Stand up. Put your hands up.
I think he's trying to find that name. So what's your opinion? Kind of a surprise question thing we kind of do here. The whole thing, that's going on in WWE right now. For 2 or 3 years, everybody wanted The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and now out of nowhere they give it to them, and they're making death threats to the family. Like they're booing The Rock, they're threatening his daughter. What's your thoughts on that?
Why are you the
I mean, I'm a big Cody fan.
Yeah.
Always have been. Watched him years. I mean, watched his brother, watched his dad back in the day. I know I'm kind of aging myself a little bit, but like I said, I've always been a Cody fan. I mean, I'm a Rock fan too, but I don't know. I mean, to me, I think the timing kind of stinks. I mean, I get it, especially with everything going on outside the ring, I guess, with WWE right now. Kind of try to get a little more positive publicity.
No.
But yeah, I mean, to me, I just wish the timing could have been a little different. Like you said, I mean, they've wanted it for years, the fans have, but
oh yeah,
I mean, people want Cody to get his
timing right now.
Yeah,
it's really affecting it. Timing is everything, and the fact that the fans have been like on their heels about Cody getting the second opportunity and ending the reign of the tribal chief. You know, the man's been going for over 300 plus days, and we know with him facing off against The Rock, it's for the tribal chief head spot, and it's kind of like a passing of the torch. We know that's what it's going to be, which tells us that Roman is going to carry the belt for even longer. You know, with Cody getting a second opportunity, that could have been the opportunity for Cody to finally do it. And you know, but me personally speaking, I think it's one of those scenarios. Y'all asked for it; they're giving it to you. Cody will get his opportunity. He said, "Not at WrestleMania, but I will take that belt from you." So that, right there it says Cody will get his opportunity down the road here because he has the opportunity that was presented to him. It's just they want to put this in there, and we all know it's kind of to cover up for the Vince McMahon scandal and whatnot that's going on. Kind of like trying to hide that a little bit, kind of bury it a little bit, so that WWE can keep chucking along. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had a lot to do with that, and also just the timing of everything happening. You know, between everything happening with Vince, of course, Punk being hurt now. It's just everything's just mushroomed, and it's just the timing is just unbelievable.
It absolutely is. It's crazy to. Everything that's just happening out of nowhere, because they did say that Drew McIntyre actually injured two superstars in that match. He injured Punk, and then when he did the Claymore kick to Cody, he knocked his tooth out. So, so is there anything like when your family, your family loves wrestling and whatnot, do you guys get together to watch the pay-per-views and the shows and whatnot?
We try to. I mean, my son, he lives a couple hours away, so I mean, it's not always the easiest, to get up there. I mean, he does invite me up to his place quite a bit. We try to go. I mean, we went to, SmackDown when it was in Green Bay, a couple months back. Went to the matches together and stuff like that. Try to do what we can, but it seems like more often than not we get together at independent shows, whether it be his shows or other promotions. But I mean, we definitely try to get together when we can, whether it be to watch it, pay-per-views or whatever they call them now, or at a live show.
PLEs.
Yeah,
premium live events. For a fact. So are you a Roman fan at all?
Not really. I mean, I appreciate that he's been through a lot, as far as health-wise and stuff like that over the years, and he's still, I mean, he's got the fans, booing him. I mean, and that's his job, I mean, he plays his role well. But yeah, I've never been, a Roman fan, even when he was with the Shield. I was always an Ambrose fan or John Moxley, whatever you want to call him. And to a point, Seth Rollins too, but I'd say I was never a huge Roman fan whatsoever.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we got a fan question. We get those from time to time. So I'm not. It says greatest doctor forever. I'm going to assume that's what that stands for. It says if a wrestler is injured and wants referee Gregory to stop the match, are there any special hand signals that you would share with the wrestler?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I haven't had to do it yet in the matches I have, but you throw up the X, with your arms, kind of signal, to the back, and then call the match early, kind of go on the fly kind of thing. Luckily, like I said, I haven't had to do that yet. I mean, that's, what I would have to do if the need ever came about, which hopefully doesn't obviously happen. So.
Okay. And I got Wrestling Bitch 29. It's kind of a random question. She's wanted to know, are you a Bears fan?
No.
He said no.
And it's kind of funny because I mean, there's a guy from my hometown that actually played on their Super Bowl team back in the 80s. Which it kind of my town's claim to fame, excuse me, so to speak. But I mean, beyond that, yeah, I've never been a Bears fan.
From that point on,
I'm more into certain players on teams. I mean, yeah, there's the Packers, obviously, but I'm more into players like J.J. Watt. He'll always be my favorite player of all time. He, of course, is a Wisconsin guy, too. So, but as far as teams go, yeah, I really don't get too wrapped up into it.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's definitely great, man. Big Baby, did you have any surprise questions at all tonight, man?
We actually have to move into honorable mentions because Carmelo Hayes is kicking off NXT to explain why he did what he did to Trick Williams.
All right.
Honorable mention tonight for me is referee Gregory James coming on the show, talking about refereeing. Man, it was a great time. I learned a lot. I hope the fans enjoyed it. I hope to see you back on the show, maybe a part 2 sometime.
Sounds good. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed having you as a guest. My honorable mentions go out to you tonight too, man. They talk a lot about the wrestlers and how their job is hard, and it's a very rough entertainment sport is what I'll call it, because that's what it is. I mean, it's entertainment, but there's a lot involved with it. It's not as easy as just running out to the ring and wrestling around with somebody. There's a lot to the sport itself, but the referee, I mean, hands down, man, you've definitely got a job that can be real rough sometimes, and you can get brutalized just as much as a wrestler. So, hands down to you, man. We praising you and for your job, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you much.
Well, I'm Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black. This has been another amazing episode of Wrestling with Bros with